Lazypeon, my favorite game reviewer, I guess. I don't know what he is. He is kind of a game reviewer, right? It's like, should you play stuff like this, or like before you play, or like, is it worth kind of thing. But yeah, this new MMORPG will end Black Desert Online. Is it the Crimson Desert? Or Crimson Desert is actually all PvP.
Korean MMOs. I know you guys all love Korean
Love
MMOs. I mean, why wouldn't you? They have the best combat, the most
True.
beautiful graphics,
Hell yeah.
the biggest watermelons, cleanest user interfaces,
Yep.
and pay to win in these games literally doesn't exist. I wish all of that was true, but unfortunately it isn't.
I mean, everything up to the pay to win was pretty true.
Who cares though, because no matter how many times we get burned by these games, many of us are so fucking addicted to that new MMO feeling, we'll knowingly walk through the microtransaction valley of death to get it. In this video, we'll be taking a look at a new upcoming MMORPG that's been over 12 years in the making, inspired by one of the most successful MMO IPs, which should be releasing Q4 2022 or early
it was inspired by...
2023.
Oh wait, by Lineage?
ExpressVPN.
Lineage, Lineage.
How do you think I've been connecting to all these region-locked
No
Korean
idea.
MMOs over the years?
You tell me.
Well, it's simply by opening up ExpressVPN, changing my location to a...
I love the background. It's from Asmongold. It's like the Asmongold video where it's like surprised by how big space is or some shit.
Region supported by the game's publisher.
Obviously, it's just a Windows background, but yeah.
Boom. As far as the internet's concerned, my device is now located in Korea. This is what I'll have to do to play the Throne and Liberty beta test later this year, and in the past I've used ExpressVPN to cover Elion, Lost Ark, Black Desert Online, and even Chinese MMOs such as Justice Online before they're available in the West.
Yeah, looks
Other
good
uses
though.
for ExpressVPN: expand your Netflix library by changing your location to another country with different movies.
Scary movie.
For example, if you're located in the US,
wait,
you
Scary
can
Movie
change your
5 had
location
Snoop
to
Dogg?
the UK and watch South Park. Protect yourself from DDoS attacks whilst playing certain online games, prevents your ISP from legally selling your data to ad companies, and if you're someone that simps over e-girls or watches porn, you can do so freely without your ISP keeping records of that. Nowadays, VPNs are basically a mandatory piece of software to have access to, so click my link in the description below to find out how you can get 3 months of ExpressVPN for free. So what big budget Korean blockbuster is coming for our wallet next? Throne and Liberty. It's basically Lineage 3, but at the last minute they decided to not set the game in the Lineage universe and instead create a new IP.
That's good.
This game is the next big PC MMO from NCSoft and shares the same universe as another game in development called Project E. Throne and Liberty takes place on the other side of the globe, whilst Project E takes place on the other.
Oh shit.
We don't know much about Project E, so in this video we're focusing purely on Throne and Liberty. Now this is a game that's been in development for well over a decade, and you may have actually seen trailers for it years ago, as this is an MMO that's gone through development hell. Initially it was called Lineage Eternal and was teased all the way back in 2011. By 2016, the game was fairly close to completion and even had a closed beta test. For whatever reason though, I'm assuming the game just wasn't fun, NCSoft went back to the drawing board, renaming it to Project TL and releasing a new trailer for the game back in late 2017.
This is like Lost Ark type?
And at the time the game seemed as if it would be isometric.
Yeah.
Since then we heard nothing about Project TL, and it seemed unlikely to be something that would ever release. Until March 2022, when out of the blue, NCSoft released an official trailer for the game. No longer Project TL, but official name Throne and Liberty. What's most surprising is that the game now seems to be third person rather than top down. I'll play the trailer in its entirety, then we'll analyse it further.
Looks good, but it's a cinema, so it's hard to say. Guess it's Unreal 4. I feel like it's still isometric, just based on that one part. Oh, Lich King. Actually, this is Lich King. Yeah, it's isometric. I am 99% sure it's still isometric. Oh, maybe not. Oh shit, it is third person view. So they could have like zoomed in. Yo, that would be cool if like when you zoom out it's isometric, but when you zoom in, it's like third person view. Ooh, do we have the tech yet? I think we have the tech. Yeah, see what I mean? This looks isometric. This part is isometric for sure. Oh goddamn. It might be a mix, yeah. It might be a mix of both isometric and third person. Oh, that is so cool. Throne and Liberty.
Wow, that's the type of MMO trailer I like to see.
That's true.
Tons of in-game footage, gameplay, and features shown off in a short space of time. Not just a CGI cutscene where we have no idea what kind of game this will be. So let's break it down. The trailer starts with a big open landscape shot of a bird flying through a fairly standard looking fantasy city.
I mean, even if it's isometric, if it's open world, it's already better than Lost Ark in my opinion.
This city or town reminded me a lot of Hydaelyn and Calpheon from Black Desert Online. Similar building design, similar colour palette, instant BDO vibes. Character running through a desert, more BDO vibes, and this scene shows us that the game will have an active day-night cycle. Nighttime panning shot over a field of goblins, perhaps this is an open world grinding spot. Next, our first look at an in-game cutscene. A character is sucked into a sacred tree where he's plunged in.
See this part?
At an in-game cutscene. A character is sucked.
See this part? This looks isometric to me. Looks like this would be from an isometric point of view. So it might be a mix.
Sucked into a sacred tree where he's plunged into the abyss and seemingly gains some kind of magical power. He's attacked by a budget version of the Lich King.
A budget version of the Lich King. Yeah, I don't know. It looks better than the Lich King, I think, but it's probably not as iconic.
The camera pans out
but look at this. Wait, 1 sec.
In what appears to be a transition from.
Look at him. Yes, straight up Lich King. Straight up Lich King.
Cutscene to gameplay. Next, we see a level 2 female character kicking open a treasure chest, and our first look at the in-game UI. Holy shit, this actually looks incredibly clean and minimalist for a Korean MMO. Character opens the door and the camera focuses on the tree, which seems to be the same one he got sucked into in the previous cutscene. Now we're level 34, the character rolls on the floor when jumping from great heights. You can also vault over walls and obstacles in this game.
That's
User
really cool.
interface still looks incredibly minimal, this time with 3 abilities unlocked. There's also boats in this scene, so perhaps this game will also have arcade-like sailing. Level 45, and now we're grapple hooking around the environment. You can clearly see here that around the world, the small red flags indicate places you can grapple to. We also have an ESO style compass on the top of the UI rather than a minimap. Everything we've seen so far is making the game seem fully open world. The next scene shows what appears to be a point of interest or collectible system in the world. She runs to the gravestone, presses F, and an artifact appears. She goes into some kind of flashback, 2D cutscene with an interesting art style plays, and then we're shown the UI of what appears to be an artifact examination UI. I translated the text here, and you can rotate, move, operate, or remove obstructions from items in this menu. Next, some kind of Witcher vision that highlights attackable enemies in a certain area.
Oh, that's cool.
In this instance, it's useful because some enemies are disguised as plants. Our hero is able to pull enemies with his grapple hook. We're also level 66 in this clip and have 4 abilities in the bottom right. This next clip really indicates to me that the game is fully open world. We're grinding mobs in a beautiful large open plains area.
And look at that combat though.
And large structures in the background. We can see how loot and XP pops up upon kill, and our character has 1,259 healing pots on him, which suggests to me that this game won't have an annoying wait system like Black Desert Online. Level 45 mage doing big damage, the monster throws a rock at her which she avoids, animations and spell effects look incredible, and we can see another giant castle in the distance. Visually, the game's looking very impressive. Also, it's important to note that we haven't seen any damage numbers so far. Perhaps they've turned this off for the trailer, or perhaps this will be something that's completely hidden. Level 62 warrior class fighting in a temple, level 60 archer which can also switch to a sword. Look at the environment here, the trees, plants and grass are moving with the wind, the lighting from the sun also looks beautiful. Just to go over the last 3 clips again, we can see that the game has a targeting system similar to Dark Souls. The archer was locked onto his enemy whilst moving, as was the mage. You can completely avoid taking damage by dodging your enemy's attacks, so the game seems to have a Dark Souls style action combat system, or at the very least that kind of targeting option. It wouldn't surprise me if there's also a free targeting option too. This scene is very interesting. A level 58 has turned into a bird. We can see that this character has unlocked 8 different abilities as displayed in the bottom right. You can also see a bird icon towards the bottom left of the screen. The next character has turned into a tiger with a tiger icon in the same UI location. So my thinking here is that either every character can shapeshift into different animals, and this game doesn't have a standard MMO mount.
Or is the same character?
Can shapeshift into different animals, and this game doesn't have a standard MMO mount system. Or this is just some kind of special event that's being shown. Either way, super cool. The next few shots are showing off some world bosses. The first one is a tree boss in a haunted woods area, a flying demon world boss in some kind of temple, a giant spiky armadillo boss in the desert area, big ass rock elemental, giant ogre boss, and a 6-legged spider humanoid boss. In each of these world boss clips we can see between 20 and 40 players attacking these monsters, so it's clearly designed to be a large player encounter, and given that this game is heavily inspired by Lineage, is likely to breed world PvP as it did in Lineage 2. Next we see what appears to be some kind of guild summoning feature by what I'd assume to be a summoning stone. There's a banner next to this stone, so my assumption would be that this is a guild standard. Time for some open world PvP. One guild has the high ground whilst the other is trying to push up from the low ground. Epic shot of 2 groups running into each other. If you pay close attention here, some are shapeshifted into wolves and transform to humans at the moment of engage. This once again suggests to me that every class can shapeshift to some extent. We also haven't seen any traditional mounts in this trailer yet either, so my theory on this seems solid so far. These next clips are epic.
Might be an item.
You can see what appears to be some kind of siege scenario, and each guild can control different siege monsters to smash through walls and doors. We can see tons of spell effects and buffs going off. Then we're shown another siege monster different to the previous one, which appears to be fighting for the opposing side. The 2 giant monsters engage, then boom, another big skeleton world boss. I slowed this footage down and counted between 55 and 60 players on screen fighting this thing. Every player gets knocked up into the air and transforms to bird form. If you look carefully, you can see what appears to be either small pets or creature summons following players around. I'd assume these creatures are pets that loot for you, as is standard for Korean MMOs.
Yeah,
Yet
yeah, that would
another
be nice.
giant world boss, this time a desert worm. Let me guess, it burrows under the ground and you need to run away? So this scene explains a lot. This level 66 player has actually
What I
turned
need to
into
do.
one of these giant siege monsters. It's not a summon. You can see on the UI that he now has 300k health, he's got 3 monster specific abilities, and the transform UI now shows a siege monster icon. I think that's actually much cooler that these giant titans are actual player transforms. We can see that there's many types of these titans. Some specialise in being really tall and attack from range, others can charge, some can hold platforms to put guildmates on walls, some can straight up jump on the walls, whereas others just fully destroy walls. Needless to say, from these final scenes, castle sieges are definitely going to be a massive feature in this
Nah,
game.
no
And that's the
way.
end of the trailer. Honestly, this was one of the best MMO trailers I've seen in a long time. Just by slowing it down and taking a look at the details, we can make a lot of solid assumptions about the features in Throne and Liberty. Solid assumptions: massive open world, action combat system, massive world bosses that require 20 to 50 players to take down, open world guild vs guild PvP, castle sieges where players can transform into different titans rather than using traditional siege equipment like battering rams and siege towers. Graphically, the game looks to be either Unreal Engine 4 or
I think
Unreal
it's
Engine
4, yeah.
5. Beautiful minimalist user interface, which is
Yeah.
extremely rare in Korean MMOs. The game likely doesn't have normal MMO mounts. It seems every class can transform into birds, tigers, wolves, and so on. The highest level players shown in the trailer were level 66, which leads me to believe that the hard cap is level 70, or level 60 is the soft cap, but you can go beyond that with grinding like in BDO. Moving throughout the world in this game looks good. You can vault, roll, climb, and grapple by the looks of it. There's an active day-night cycle, there's collectibles in the world such as treasure chests and artifacts. The only playable race shown in the trailer was humans, but the world has other races such as goblins, skeletons, and other traditional high fantasy creatures. Since this game was initially built as Lineage 3, it wouldn't surprise me if elves and orcs are also playable races. The game doesn't have an
Always.
annoying Black Desert weight system. The game has pets, so they
Maybe they don't want to be
loot for
racist,
you.
so.
Weapons or classes I saw during the trailer: great swords, staffs, one-handed sword and shield, daggers, bow, and dual-wielded swords. A lot of these weapons seemed to be mix and matched. I saw mages with daggers, sword and board warriors with bows also on their backs, as well as a mix of heavy and light armor. Not sure what to make of that other than maybe it's a classless game, or every class can use every weapon. I'm not too sure. These next few points are speculation and not confirmed by the trailer. The trailer didn't show any small-scale bosses or traditional 5-player MMO dungeons. The game's also inspired by Lineage, so I think it leans more to being a PvP grinder MMO, and likely won't appeal to World of Warcraft or Final Fantasy XIV players.
We'll
But
see.
maybe I'm wrong. Throughout the trailer, I didn't see
If it's
anything on the
action,
UI that relates to questing, so
if
I'm
it's if it's action gameplay, like if it's action combat, then PvP is actually fine. It's the tab targeting that doesn't really fit PvP very well. Fits PvE very well. Fuck man, this game looks good. I probably won't play it at 1.0. Honestly, it will be out in the West like in maybe 4 years, so it should be okay by then. And by then, we will definitely know if it's beta win or not. Overall, game looks really good though. I must say though. Uh, if I could make it my living to play video games, then I would definitely give it a shot. But I don't know if I have any fucking more time to start a new MMORPG anytime soon. But I would love to, that's for sure.
fairly certain you just grind mobs in this game to progress, as was shown in many of the clips. Throne and Liberty is a Korean PvP MMO, so there's about a 99.9% chance the game will be pay to win to some extent, and we saw ships in the trailer but they were static, so the game may or may not have an aspect of ship combat in the future. Overall, I expected nothing, but after watching and analysing the trailer, I think this will be the next big PvP and Castle Siege MMO that Black Desert Online, Arcade and X-Lineage players will flock to next. Personally, I love Guild vs Guild Castle Siege endgame in MMOs, so this game is right up my alley and will likely be something I play whilst I'm waiting for Ashes of Creation to release. That being said, I know it's going to be pay to win because it's Korean, but hopefully it'll also be free to enjoy. But that's it for this video. As always, let me know your thoughts on this new MMO in the comments below, especially if you're an ex-Lineage player. What are your hopes for Throne and Liberty? Social media on screen, leave a like and comment for the algorithm gods, and I'll see you in the next one.
Will it be pay to win? I hope not. But Resurrection 30 minutes, Jesus Christ. The game looks sick though.
Protect yourself.
Where's the like look at this town. Oh, look at this.
Release an official.
That's a massive world. I do wonder if you can get to like everywhere, like kind of like in New World, so you could go everywhere. That would be pretty sick. I don't like the name, it's like whatever. Throne and Loyalty, whatever. Running animation is fine. This makes me feel like this is definitely isometric. It's gonna be a mix of both, I think. You could see some of the battles as well. Let's see. This part is isometric, right? This cinematic, so I don't know. Question is though, so every time you see the UI, and it looks and like it doesn't look isometric. Right? All of these look like they're third person. Every time it looks isometric, there's no UI, so it could be like a side view. But I don't know, man. I feel like it will be both. They all look third person view. What happened to like again? The thing is, this trailer looks as good to me as Anima Online looked good to me back then. And Anima Online was a fucking dog shit game. So I never have hope for new releases. It's been in dev for a long time. So maybe. Anyway, 1.0 is usually like I have little hope for a 1.0 being really good. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see, man. I really hope this is a good game. I do. Not necessarily it looks promising, not holding my breath though. Let's see how it really is in the future. That's pretty much it, yeah. Dev said on an interview for a Korean magazine that this will be the mount feature of the game. Every player will learn how to transform to a bird for flying, a cat for ground running, and a sea creature for swimming. Worth noting that players will also learn how to transform into a colossus for castle sieges and transporting their allies on their back while leading the charge. Great Lineage 2 background music. Lineage 2 was my favorite MMO back way when. Stuff they could take from Lineage experience. It's Lineage, yeah, it's Lineage. I'm gonna call it Lineage because like that's what I knew back then. And there's even room for a sub on the MMO if it is good. Lineage 2 used to be sub only. Asian MMOs corrupted the market, so I keep hoping they're also the ones to set it back straight. But the reality is that as long as people keep buying micro crap, they will design games around micro crap. Yep, and those can only end up being major crap. So the best thing that the gaming community could do is play one of these free-to-play wallet traps without spending a dime. That would be the biggest statement that the community blah blah blah. Okay. Find it to be helpful. They have mentioned in an interview after the trailer. Oh, okay. I will capture the magic of Lineage 2. That would be amazing. I had so much fun. The Lineage 2 was fucking great. I had a very I might have had like the shittiest DSL. Maybe I still even have dial-up. But yeah, I really enjoyed Lineage 2. I didn't get far because like didn't even know English back then. It was really hard to play the game and like understand what I was doing. But overall, the game itself felt really fun. I remember I started as a, I believe it was a dark elf or a vampire, something like that, and it's like you start like this underground structure, and then you go up the stairs to like open the world. Oh man, that was fucking great. I didn't get much further than that. But so I'm not like a good reviewer for Lineage 2, but like the feeling I got when I just started playing it for like the 30 minutes that I played was actually like pretty good. I probably played a bit more, but like I just don't remember any of it. I remember just the beginning of the game, but yeah. Uh, Here's to hoping that in 4 years we'll get in the West and we'll know exactly if it's pay to win or not. See you in the next one.